How's it going, YouTube? This is Austin from Biogen Studios, and we were back with some more Stanley Parable today. The last video that was kind of crazy looking, kind of crazy way to finish it. So hopefully today I can at least make an ending that's not too complex and doesn't really rip your brain in half and shoves up your anus or whatever, but you know, it's whatever. We kind of broke the laws of physics, but where am I?
Stanley? Hello? Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The last one.
This is
I'm not gonna watch the intro. If you want to, you can watch the first one if you haven't seen it. So last time
all of his co-workers were gone.
we
What could it mean?
did
Stanley
the
decided
exact
to go to the
opposite of
meeting.
what he said.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, he kind of fucked up the game. Like, literally, not like the game screwed over or something.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna attempt to do what he tells me to. I am not 100% sure on how much I'm gonna listen to him.
Yet,
Because I feel like
there was not a
listening to
single
him will
person
give
here
me like a
either.
really dumb
Feeling a
ending,
wave
so.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he'd come
Alright,
into a staircase.
so
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I want to go downstairs. I don't want to go to the boss's office. I kind of want to see what's downstairs. A red light. A car.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
No.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Strange.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Oh,
Were
of
they
course, I
simply
figured that one
repeating?
out like 5 times.
No,
ago.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at
But it
last,
is.
he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled.
Hey.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
No.
He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Let's hijack this
He
car.
thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
I like how when you
So,
click a
he
button,
imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
I'm flying.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space
flying.
on a magical star field, and
Oh,
it too appeared.
what in
It
the
was
world?
so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
I
And then
have no
perhaps
idea.
the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
What is that?
One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Well, I have no idea.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
This
I'm
is
dreaming about a
narratorception.
voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
Nope.
How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
Of course.
Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Well, that's not a way to look
Stanley
at it.
is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see
yeah.
him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
He's
How else
smoking
would the
pot.
voice explain all that? This voice was a
Weed.
part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin,
Wow.
the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Hey.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Don't we all?
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I'm okay. Fuck! Still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my
I'm a
voice?
boy.
Who am I? Who am I?
Who am I?
And everything went black.
Oh. He screamed himself into a coma.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Who's a Mariella?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
Of course.
I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day.
Oh shit, you
The
can't miss
very
that.
important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
It's a bit morbid, don't you think? Alright guys, that was a kind of a creepy ending to this, but remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video of the Stanley Parable.